Now we've got a new Gutenberg press, and that's you guys. That's streaming. That's cell phones. That's text. That's blogging. That's all of what's going on today, and the word is getting out there big time. So I'm grateful for that, and I think this is the most incredibly exciting time to be alive and to be participating in this. And I just want to quickly add one thing. I grew up in New Hampshire. I come from over 300 years of New England Yankees. My ancestors fought in the American Revolution. I used to wish I was born in the 1700s so I could be part of the American Revolution. Now I know that I'm grateful I'm here now because this is a bigger revolution. This is global, and it's an amazing revolution of consciousness. I'm so excited to be here.
John, I'd like you to talk to this, because a lot of times when I speak to people, I'm sure you're amazed as well, when people tune into conventional news outlets, whether it's television or the newspapers or radio, God forbid they're actually out there spending money on weekly subscriptions and getting this news brought to their homes, right to their doorsteps and being brought into their homes. It seems so clear once you just get awoken, just a little bit, you become awake. You notice that the message, no matter what the channel is, and I'd like you to speak to this, and then we'll get into your most recent book, Hoodwinked, and some more of the solutions for the remainder of the show. But the message is just fear-based. You've talked about love and compassion at the at the beginning of the program, but it just seems like to keep everybody down, locked in, and against each other, divided so that these small groups of companies can conquer or put their will on everybody else. It seems that the only way they can do that is to put pervasively out there for everyone to read and to hear messages of fear.
If everybody who's at all discouraged would just think of who's your hero, think of a few heroes in your life, and really look at them, and you'll see that those heroes were just human beings like you, and they did something. Rosa Parks walked to the front of a bus and changed history. Rachel Carson wrote a book called Silent Spring and started a whole environmental movement. But when she sat down at her desk in a little house in Pennsylvania and began to scribble into an old notebook, she had no idea that it was ever going to be published, much less that it would create a whole environmental movement with her. Yes. And they don't have to worry about the other people out there because the world is always changed by critical mass. A very small number of people have a huge influence. And I would dare say that the people listening to this program tonight, if every one of us takes action, that follows our passions and uses our talents, that's enough. I really believe that's enough. It will happen, and it is happening around the world. And we should all realize on this program that we're not alone. I'm on a lot of programs. I speak at a lot of conventions and so forth. There's a tremendous number of people out there that want change. There'll always be some that'll just spend the rest of their lives watching Monday Night Football on every night, not just Monday, and zoning out. I'm just using that obviously as a humorous analogy, but people zoning out on television or whatever they zone out on. But that doesn't matter. What matters is that those of us who are tuned in, who are listening to this program, that we actually get up tomorrow morning and say, every single day for the rest of my life, I'm going to take some action, even if it's just sending one email. Doesn't have to be a big thing, but every single day I'm going to take some action to making this a better world. It will happen.
Yeah, I think that's a great message to end as we're just getting close to the end of the show, John. We can add just a little bit more about your book, Hoodwinked, or any kind of solutions that you'd like to add to end the show. But I think that is the main point. If someone feels overwhelmed by all of the stuff that's going on in the world, realize that they have tremendous individual power. That the only way that the globalists and these people that are trying to, the few that are trying to control the many and all of these terrible things that are happening, the worst thing that the individual can do is feel afraid, feel helpless, and feel like they can't do anything. And as soon as they stop themselves, the individual, John, I'd like to get your opinion and your take on this. As soon as the individual says, look, this is the first line of defense for myself and for everybody that I care about around me, is that I will not be afraid. I will instead do the opposite. I will reach out and try to help someone today who will so much appreciate it turn around and help somebody else. I could go on and on for an hour about all the times where seemingly somebody would tell me, oh, Jonathan, don't bother to help that person. They're a lost cause. They're not interested in what you have to say about natural health, natural living, or helping somebody else to turn their life around. And I said, nonsense. I'm not going to listen to this stuff about being afraid about what I say or how I act. Just go out there, try to help somebody, and it's amazing how the world can change.